the Hawaii Department of Health entered into an agreement, an administrative order on consent, in response to a reported 2014 spill of 27,000 gallons of jet fuel from the U.S. Navy's Red Hill bulk fuel storage facility. Many at the time, including many of the elected officials and community leaders here today, expressed grave concern about this document, which they saw as a means to only continue the operation of this decrepit facility just 100 feet above our sole source aquifer here on Oahu. Unfortunately, 10 years later, their concerns have been realized. And now with 5,000 to 2 million gallons of jet fuel and other contaminants in our aquifer and in the environment surrounding the Red Hill fuel facility, we all know that we cannot, again, abdicate our kuleana to safeguard our wai, our children's wai, our grandchildren's wai. And so that's why we are here today, to take this pledge to our wai and a pledge to our keiki, to commit and to remind ourselves that we must never again place our faith and the fate of our islands in the hands of decision makers 5,000 miles away. Before we take this pledge, and we're going to welcome everyone here to do so, we do have some remarks from some of the leaders that have been involved in the Red Hill campaign. First up, I'd like to invite Board of Water Supply Chief Engineer Ernie to share some remarks.
Thank you, Wayne, and mahalo everybody for coming out today. I know it's a very sunny afternoon and a little warm in here, but mahalo, Wayne, for putting on this event. I just want to point out that the administrative order on consent from 2015 was really, like Wayne said, to actually prolong the operation of the Red Hill facility. We provided over 100 written comments on that effort, expressing our concern. Unfortunately, the 2021 crisis had to actually happen, and I think it was something that was preventable. But I do want to acknowledge that what's really made a difference since the crisis that we saw unfold before us in 2021 was really the community coming together. All parts of the community standing with us and alongside us. Actually, it's more like I stood alongside with them. I marched with them. And it wasn't me, or it wasn't anybody from the Board of Water Supply, but it was really the community with one voice. And I also see members here of the Red Hill Wai, the Water Alliance Initiative that was led by the former Speaker of the House, and our Senate and our Governor and the Mayor. That is our kind of our way forward, that we need to be in this effort for the long term. Ola i kawai, water is life. It is a gift. And we are blessed with this gift on this island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, where it could support, has enough resources there to support over 1 million people on Oahu every day with safe drinking water. But along with the gift, we are entrusted with the responsibility to malama this gift. And I would say, I heard a singer once say that, make your kuleana pono. That all of us have to realize that it is all of our kuleana to care for this precious gift from Keohokalole, to conserve it, to protect it for the benefit of the people of Hawaii and for generations to come. There are some questions that I have that I hope the answer will be a good answer. In what condition will this Wai be left for generations to come? This Wai that's been contaminated by a Navy underground fuel storage facility for many years, over its 80-year history. In what condition will the Wai that's been impacted be left? Can we afford to let those who are responsible for the contamination get away without restoring the Wai to its pristine condition before the Red Hill facility was constructed, in a condition that Keohokalole gave it to us, precious and pure. All of you here today and those that are be watching this later, I just would like to remind you and plead with you that you are all water protectors. You are all kia'i wai. We all have the responsibility, if you live in this state of Hawaii, of caring for our wai. And I am proud to stand with our Keiki and our community members here behind me, who really deserve all the credit for standing for our wai. Ola ika wai, take the pledge to protect this resource for generations to come. Don't let this resource be contaminated. Let's work together to get this resource cleaned up, and let us really treat it as a gift. So we ask for water conservation. That's treating this resource as a gift. So we're only using what we need to survive and not wasting it. Ola ika wai, water is life. Mahalo.
Next, I'd like to invite the aptly named City Council Chair Tommy Waters to share his mana'o.
Aloha, thank you, Wayne. Well said, Ernie Lau. Well said. You know, the Honolulu City Council is poised to pass a resolution on Wednesday reaffirming the City Council's support for the protection and preservation of clean water and public health. I just want to read a couple of paragraphs. Whereas clean and pure water is essential to the health, safety, and cultural heritage of the people of Hawaii, and the protection is not only a matter of public health and environmental stewardship, but also a sacred kuleana, rooted in native Hawaiian values and traditions, where water is a life-giving force essential to cultural heritage of these islands. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City and County of Honolulu that reaffirms its strong and ongoing support for the May 9th, 2023 Unified Statement on Red Hill and the efforts of the Red Hill Water Alliance Initiative, and stands with our community to demand access to clean, safe water now and for generations to come. That the Council further urges the U.S. Navy to act with full transparency and accountability as it continues to work to restore our water resources, remediate environmental harm, and ensure that the long-term protection of this vital natural resource for our community. So if you believe as we believe in this statement, please come to testify in support, or simply come to honolulucitycouncil.org because you can testify remotely. But it says a lot when we have the Lieutenant Governor here, state senators, our OHA chair, a candidate for the United States Congress, and members of the State House of Representatives, all united for clean drinking water. So thank you, Wayne, and the Keiki for putting this together, and keep reminding folks and reminding the Navy that this is an ongoing thing. We can't give up. We can't let this slide. We gotta keep them accountable. So thank you, Wayne. Really appreciate putting this all together at the Sierra Club. Mahalo.
Next, we have a member, one of the state legislative members of the Red Hill Wai Initiative, along with Representative Linda Ichiyama, Senator Jarrett Keohokalole.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. 10 years ago, the administrative order on consent was signed for Red Hill. But 32 years ago, the federal government made a promise to the people of Hawaii regarding Keohokalole. They made a promise that they would return Keohokalole completely cleaned up of ordnance from several lifetimes worth of bombing and return it back to the people of Hawaii for use in perpetuity. That was in 1993. In 2004, the Navy packed up their tent, deemed the project complete, and moved on. To this day, 75% of the surface of Keohokalole has been cleared of ordnance, and 90% of the subsurface is still too dangerous to put a shovel in the ground. That's the record of promises that we've received from the same entity that is now responsible for potentially an existential threat to the drinking water source of the island of Oahu. The reason I bring that up is because now 10 years after the administrative order and consent, and 4 years after the catastrophic 2021 spill, we're here today to collectively to take a pledge, but also to hold our federal and military leadership to a promise. And it is that we cannot allow Red Hill to become the next Keohokalole, a problem for our generations to come with no resolution in sight and no obligation to take responsibility by our leaders in Washington. You know, since so much time has passed, it's easy to dismiss Keohokalole because people don't live there. The difference with Red Hill is that that aquifer fuels the drinking water source from Aloha Stadium, the Board of Water Supply system, from Aloha Stadium to Hawaii Kai, and it sits over the aquifer for the island of Oahu. 900,000 people and their children, and their children's children thereafter, rely on that aquifer for sustenance. We cannot just dismiss the problem as the responsibility for the state of Hawaii in an unpopulated area on a different island. This is our community that's at stake here. We also cannot rely on the statements of our experts in Washington that the risk is low, or that because we can't detect immediate fuel near our drinking water wells, that it's okay and that we can just move forward. It's important that we as a collective community make sure that everyone understands, including our military leaders and our federal leaders in Washington, the uncomfortable truth. Just because we can't detect fuel doesn't mean it's gone. It's our obligation to our children, and it's our obligation under the law to continue to do this work until we can prove that our aquifer is clean. Only then can the obligation be cleared. We are not asking for a check to be cut by the federal government or the Navy so that they can fold up their tent and absolve themselves of obligations. Obligations that our children and our grandchildren might have to deal with. So to me, that's what the pledge to our Keiki means. It means what our Constitution says, and it means what our laws say. That our water is precious, that it's our job to conserve and protect it. That's what the Constitution says. It's our job to conserve and protect our Wai. Not only for us, not only for our environment, but for future generations. That's what Ole Kawai means. That's what this pledge is about. I ask you all to sign on. I thank you very much for the bravery and the diligence and persistence of the Sierra Club and of our fearless leader at the Board of Water Supply, Ernie Lau. May he live a long time and continue in his position. Ola ikawai, everyone. Mahalo.
Next, I'd like to invite the Red Hill Community Representation Initiative Chair and longtime advocate and organizer for the shutdown of the Red Hill facility, Marti Townsend.
Thank you very much. It's so moving to be here today. Thank you all for coming. I have one basic message. Please, can we let Red Hill be the last time? The last time that Hawaii is sacrificed in the name of U.S. war readiness. The last time that we make the mistake of assuming U.S. national security means actual protection and safety for our residents. The last time we fall for the false promises of the U.S. military. Hawaii has sacrificed so much, more than any place should ever have to sacrifice in the name of security. This is not security. We are not protected. The U.S. military is sacrificing us in the name of their war machine. And it's up to us to say, no, not anymore. We're out, okay? Whatever national security the U.S. wants to engage in, it doesn't sacrifice Hawaii anymore. We have paid our dues. In the 10 years since the last do-nothing enforcement action by the EPA, I have seen the Navy lie under oath. I have seen them mislead and misdirect our attention in order to evade accountability. I have seen them lose and spoil and destroy critical data, samples that could protect our health, but they would rather escape from responsibility than actually be helpful here. I have experienced the Navy make promise after promise, just like the Senator Keohokalole explained, right? Just tell us whatever it is we want to hear to get us to say yes to whatever it is they want to do. And I'm telling you, their promises are not worth anything. We cannot trust them. I have watched them actively work against whatever promise they made to us. In the 2 years since I've been sitting on this community representation initiative for Red Hill, I have seen them tell us one thing one meeting and something different the next meeting, to come up with explanations and justifications to explain away the thing we can all see with our own eyes. They are not to be trusted. Please don't fall for it again. Our commitment here today is that we will take responsibility for our water, that we will stand up for our kids, that we will protect our future here in Hawaii. Thank you very much.
And finally, we have Sydney Chung, the youth organizer of the Tainted Waters art contest and exhibit, which, with the sponsorship of the Mayor's Office of Culture and the Arts, will be on display outside of City Council chambers for the month of October.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sydney Chung, and I'm a youth organizer with the Sierra Club of Hawaii. Over the past year that I've dedicated to organizing the Tainted Waters Art for Truth contest, I've realized that water, one of the most basic human rights, remains unprotected and vulnerable. When kids are asked in elementary school what the 3 most essential items that humans need to survive, they say water, air, and food. It is not political clout, it is not money, and it certainly isn't weapons. In chasing excess, we have lost sight of what is truly necessary and valuable. Clean water should not be a political issue. Clean air should not be a political issue. A clean and healthful environment should not be a political issue. As a 16-year-old student, I fear for the availability of such basic resources for our children and our grandchildren. Everyone here has the responsibility and ability to clean and protect Wai. Each of the 131 students and their educators who participated in the contest have already done so. So I urge all of you to join us, to use your voice, your skills, your relationships, and take the pledge. Thank you.
Now I'd like to invite all of us here who are so willing to come and take the pledge, starting with our speakers and those who are on time constraints. And to introduce the pledge, I'd like to invite Reverend David Nakamoto.
ako. I'm just a concerned kupuna, and I should like to read this pledge signed by so many organizations and individuals. And the pledge is to Our Wai, a pledge to Our Keiki. And the pledge was is acknowledged on the 10th anniversary of the 2015 Red Hill Administrative Order on Consent, or the AOC. So I'd like to read the following pledge, and just a part of it. We, the undersigned organizations and individuals, promise to you, our Keiki, and the generations to follow. We are committed to protecting our Wai and protecting your future, and we will never forget the mistakes that led to our precious, once pure aquifer to be contaminated by the Navy's Red Hill bulk fuel storage facility. We pledge never lose sight of our kuleana to safeguard our Wai throughout Kapai Aina or Hawaii Nei. And we will endeavor always to seek transparency, truth, and action in matters pertaining to the healing and protection of our island's most precious resource. Mahalo.
Okay, Ernie, would you do us the honor of being the first to sign this pledge?
And how about a nice round of applause for our OHA Chair Keohokalole, who as a representative for the neighbor islands, by the way, showed up in the House Armed Services Committee in Congress with a bottle full of fuel-tainted water from Navy housing. Prior to that, the Navy refused to admit that there was even a problem, and military leadership at the time told town halls of military residents, Navy housing residents, that it was safe to drink the water. Until he showed up, there was no crisis in 2021. We're here because of his leadership today.
anyone who wants to wait around after folks are done signing the pledge, we can line up to take a picture. What? Anyone who wants to stick around, we'll take a group picture in front of the pledge after folks are past signing. Also, feel free to take a few moments to go to the third floor, City Council Chambers, to view the rest of the Keiki art that was submitted as part of the Tainted Waters Art for Truth exhibit. Also, just another announcement, if folks would like to make a badge, a patch, there's a table at the entranceway with Wisdom Circles Oceania hosting a patch making activity.